Good evening. If there's no objection, we are back from our executive session, and we'll continue with the voting session of the September Cobb County School District Board meeting. And the first item of business is, would you please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you, everyone. Now it's time for board recognitions.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, members of the board, if you will join me in front of the dais, and I believe Kevin Daniel is going to perform my recognitions tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Mr. Superintendent, we have some excellent recognitions tonight, so let's begin. First, we're thrilled to announce that the Walton High School girls tennis team captured their 5th consecutive state championship. It is the Lady Raiders' 15th state title in less than 2 decades. At this time, we would like to invite the Class 7A girls tennis champions and head coach Anthony Fody, Principal Judy McNeil, and Athletic Director Dr. Chris Williams to come forward and be recognized by the board.
Okay, everybody, let's scoot over. Come on, put some on your kneel. Okay, don't hide in the back now. Okay, wait, yeah, scoot over to the other side, closer to your athletic director, so we can see you, so you don't hide. Yeah, we don't want you to hide. Okay, all right, ready? 1, 2, 3. We'll do it one more time. Okay. All right, thank you, everybody.
We're also excited tonight that the Harrison High School girls soccer team won their 3rd state championship title. The Lady Hoyas won the 6A state title. Unfortunately, the Lady Hoyas could not be with us tonight, but let's congratulate them anyway on this great season. We now have the pleasure to recognize the district's Business Services Department for receiving the 2017 Achievement of Excellence in Procurement Award for the 13th consecutive year. The Cobb County School District is one of only 13 agencies in Georgia and one of only 26 school districts in the nation to receive this distinguished honor. So call your name, please stand. Jill Vestal, Senior Executive Director of Business Services. David Odom, Director of Procurement Services. Barbara Bates, Assistant Director. Gary Blount, Purchasing Director. Chris McSpadden, Purchasing Agent. June Wolfenbarger, Senior Buyer. And Daphne Bailey, Senior Buyer. Congratulations to them. If you will please come forward, be recognized by the board.
All right, you're all ready? Just a minute, scoot to the, yeah, no, you scoot to a little bit to the other way, yeah, there you go. Want to make sure we see all the board members' faces. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. All right, thank you.
The week of October the 2nd through the 8th is Public Safety Appreciation Week. This Appreciation Week gives the community the opportunity to join together and show appreciation to all of the hardworking public safety personnel. We want to express our appreciation to the district's own public safety team. This is an outstanding group of individuals committed to keeping our students, our staff, and our students and our schools safe. At this time, I would like the following Cobb School public safety personnel to stand when I call your name. Chief Ron Story, Captain Wayne Pickett, Lieutenant Mike Wilson, Sergeant Tom Arnold, Sergeant Mike Young, Officer Phil Bradford, Officer Bill Cardone, Officer Danny Hubbard, Officer Tim Jennings, and K-9 Officer Marshall Dooling, along with Sadie. You'll please stand. We appreciate all of you. Will you come forward to be recognized by the board? Please come forward.
Sadie gets the win.
Yeah. Okay, when Sadie calms down, everybody.
Well, that's, you might be waiting for it.
Okay, we'll do this fast. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Let's try one more time with Sadie. That looks good.
She just zoomed in.
The Georgia Art Association named 3 Cobb County teachers Art Educators of the Year. This association selects the winners from applicants all over the state, so it is rare that you would have 3 winners from the same school district. First, let's recognize King Spring Elementary School teacher Mary Mullins as the Elementary Art Educator of the Year. She will be accompanied by Principal Cindy Sweck, Assistant Principal Laura Meyer, Jennifer Lawson, Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, and Laura Qualia, Supervisor for Learning, Design, and Art. Now we have the pleasure to honor the Middle School Art Educator of the Year. It's Carrie Waller from Simpson Middle School. The board would like Carrie and her administrator, Erica Beck, to come forward for recognition.
Great, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, well, okay. I think we're good on the first one.
Very good. The Secondary Art Educator of the Year is Kathleen Petka from Walton High School. Kathleen was also named the State Fish Art Educator of the Year. The board invites Kathleen and Walton Principal Judy McNeil to come forward for recognition.
Congratulations.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it one more time. Sorry. My camera will cooperate. Okay. 2, 3. All right, thank you.
And finally, tonight, we have the honor of recognizing our classified employees of the year. Let's start with the elementary employee of the year. Hendricks Elementary paraprofessional Matthew Brooks. He's recognized for the way he connects with people and sets a positive culture for the school. Matthew, please come forward with your principal, Patrick O'Connell, assistant principal, Kalia Rachel, your administrator, Jalen Jenkins, and the physical education teacher, Joe Tackett.
Good job. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate it. Good job. Appreciate it. Great job. Thanks so much.
Team member.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next, we have the pleasure of congratulating Jerry Connaughton on being named the Middle School Level Classified Employee of the Year. The Durham Middle School Paraprofessional is referred to as the MVP. The board would like Durham's MVP, Jerry Connaughton, to please step forward with her principal, Dr. Patricia Alford, to be recognized by the board.
I think that looks, oh, well,
No,
okay,
We're
no,
out now.
you're, yeah, don't, just there, you gotta get up, you can't hide behind. Okay, there you go.
All right.
Okay. All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3. No, I think that one looks good. Thank you.
For her exceptional work helping students and staff members as a clerk at Lassiter High School, Alice Brown was named the high school level classified employee of the year. At this time, we'd like Alice to come forward with her principal, Dr. Chris Ritchie, and the assistant principal, Dr. Angela Baer.
Okay. All right. Now we don't miss ranks. Okay. Okay, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was good. Thank you.
We are thrilled to announce the Central Office Classified Employee of the Year is Diana Cothran. Diana is always eager. There you go. She's always eager to help staff members with their accounting needs, and as you've already heard, she has a fan club with her tonight. The fan club includes Jan Hendricks, Director of Accounting Services, Colette Turner, Accounting Manager, Peggy McClure-Greeno, Procurement and Card Specialist, Beth Atkinson, the Grants Accountant, and Diane Cobb, Financial Support Service. Please step forward and be recognized by the board.
Appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. Right in the middle.
All right, everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, oh, that looks good.
That's it. Congratulations to everyone on your achievements. This concludes our recognitions for tonight.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations to these people who have, in the classified employees who were chosen by their peers for their outstanding work, and they're just an example of all the folks that we have on our team here in Cobb County. Next, we have public comment. Mr. Doyle, what have we got?
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the board, we have 11 speakers tonight. And how much time?
Let's give them each 2 minutes because that'll probably take up the full 30 minutes. that we allow.
Okay, 2 minutes per. Our first speaker is Mark, and I want to see if I pronounce this right, Deru. All right. He will discuss safety at South Cobb High School baseball field. I believe all the speakers may be here to address South Cobb High School and baseball situation. And he'll be followed by Kalanda Mack. If you could make your way forward so we can make sure we save your 2 minutes and keep going here.
Good evening, Board, Chairman, Superintendent. I am Coach DeRue, head baseball coach at South Cobb, and also the MID teacher. I just wanted to first state that the county has been very supportive of helping getting the facilities up to playing and safe conditions for our kids. I believe Mr. John Adams, I think he's overseen a lot of that. They've taken care of the roof that was falling in on the concession stand, replacing boards in the outfield. They replaced the bathroom in the press box that was not working. They laid gravel out on the field to help with the mud conditions when it rained. They replaced some doors. They've done a lot of things at the field that's been within their budget. So I'm here to talk about some of the safety issues that go a little bit beyond what they were budgeted for. One of the first concerns is my athletes have to walk 0.6 miles from the school and across Austell Road to make it to the baseball field. And there's been some safety concerns about them crossing over Austell Road. I don't know. We've brought pictures along with a lot of the things, so you can also look along. There's a crosswalk, but there's no safety signal for them to be able to safely. And I've had last year a few players almost get hit by vehicles crossing Austell Road.
30 seconds.
And then also we've had 3 break-ins within the last 2 months. One of the officers been out there twice already. So there's been safety concern with the parents about them even wanting their child to play baseball because they feel the conditions of the field has not been safe. And I've gotten that from some of the parents. So I'm losing baseball players because of safety. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Kalonda Mack, and she'll be followed by Charles Camp.
I am a parent. My son plays baseball. This is his second year at South Cobb. I'll be addressing the gravel parking lot. There's uneven areas that pose safety concerns for people with disabilities that cause the inability to access the field. We've already had grandparents having to be lifted by their family members to be able to come up to the field to view their grandchildren, family members play. Because there has not been an upkeep when it rains, there's a problem with the drainage from the rain runoff. There are potholes, sinking, shifting issues, which could result in lawsuits for our school and county if someone was to get hurt, slip and fall. Also, the road leading around the back of the concession stand is uneven, washed away, and very steep. One of our storage facilities cannot be accessed because of the way the grade for the gravel is. We would prefer it be paved so there wouldn't be any problems with people in wheelchairs, walkers, having access to see their loved ones play. But there are also gravel pavers.
30
that could be a
seconds.
solution to lessen erosion, help the water run off, and give the handicap access. And that is it. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Charles Camp, and he will be followed by Latoya Rhodes.
Good evening. My name is Charles Camp, and I'm a 20-year resident, property owner, and parent of 2 South Cobb High School students. I come here today to request the board's assistance with the replacement of the bleachers at South Cobb's high school baseball fields. The bleachers are in a deplorable condition. They are rusted. They have boards that have been replaced to stand on that are not stable. We've had an incident where a fan actually fell, and I don't know if they were hurt or not. They are currently served as a safety hazard and a liability to the county. As a taxpayer and a parent, it is embarrassing and frightening to have a county school facility in this bad condition. We have sent some pictures up. I don't know if you have any, to look at. Now, the staff, the parents, and student athletes are committed to do our part to make things better, and we ask that the Cobb County School Board will do its part to help. Thank you.
Next is Latoya Rhodes, who will be followed by Tiffany Harris.
Good afternoon, or good evening, rather. My name is Latoya Rhodes. My son is actually a senior at South Cobb High School, so we have been there for quite some time. I actually have seen some of the progress that's been done to the baseball field. I am here to talk to you about the bathrooms and the issues we're having with the bathroom. We actually have a men's and women's facility. At the current status, only one bathroom can be utilized by the entire baseball field. That's including board members, parents, players, everyone. What has occurred is 1/4-inch pipes were actually used at the facility. When they merged the softball field, they're linked into our plumbing, so we cannot utilize all of our restrooms. Just to give you a perspective, we have tournaments we've been hosting. We probably have about 60, 70 parents combined, or even more. They have one single line that we're accessing for men and women and players during the game. I've seen parents and players actually have to help their loved ones lift them into the restroom because handicap accessible is an issue with our doors. They cannot get their loved ones into the bathroom. So we've had quite some issues with those restrooms there. I actually have some pictures here just to show you the condition of the one functional bathroom. It actually has one stall in it as well. So amongst the entire park, we have one functional toilet that the entire field is using.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Tiffany Harris, who will be followed by Danette Liskanik.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Harris. I'm a volunteer and a parent and a Cobb County resident. I'm here to talk about the locker room and the carpet in the press box. The carpet in the press box, we've had a big issue with rats because, as Coach DeRue said, that there were some repairs done. The carpet was never replaced, so there's been a lot of droppings and urine, and it's unsanitary and very nasty. So we would appreciate if we could get some help to get it changed out. Also, the boys' locker room is also on the same and has the same plumbing issue, so we cannot use the restrooms. And when too many of the restrooms are used, it backs up, so then that's a sanitary issue as well. Also, all of the fixtures and things in the locker room are falling down, which again is another safety issue. And we're concerned about the boys. They cannot use the locker room because of these conditions. So we need probably an overhaul of the locker rooms as well. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Next speaker is Danette Liskanik, if I have that right. And she'll be followed by Yannette Perez.
I'm Danette Liskanik, and I also have a senior at South Cobb. There's many things, but I'm just going to get into the stairway leading up to the press box. It's rickety. As we've had slip and falls, and it's just a matter of time before it collapses. And our scoreboard's old and outdated. It's kind of getting embarrassing having other teams come and see it. It doesn't want to light up. When it does work, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I wanted to also say thank you to the board that what has already been done. And that's all. Thank you.
Next is Yannette Perez, followed by Franklin Mateo.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here and I have to talk about the concession stand because the concession is deteriorated and is dirty and is not safe. The concession stand is, everything inside is not good to use. The ceiling is cracking. We don't have a place to cook. We have to take the grill outside to cook. And even we don't have a dumpster. We have to throw away garbage. We have to take the garbage to the school and throw away there. That's it.
Our next speaker is Franklin Mateo, who will be followed by Michael Kinney.
Good evening, distinguished board. My name is Franklin Mateo. I'm a dad for one of the students and coaching also them. So this is my first year at school, and I want to be eager to the community as well with your support, so for our kids. Okay, so right now we have a situation with the wood fence that we have. I think so. You got the pictures over there. This is a safety issue. In the meaning, it's like some of those nails. It's like it's pulling out for the wood. This is my first year, so I've been here probably the hammer back those nails, but it's continue pulling out. So the situation is if we have a player running like a full speed, full throttle over there, so that's a safety issue over there. So somebody could have a nail on the head, on the eyes, on the neck. So if it's possible to replace it for, let's say, for like a metal fence, or could be like a padding fence, so the body could absorb the heat when the player is coming towards the fence, so that would be very helpful. Also, the fence, the wood fence, is bent, it's torn, it's not safe, it's not even straight. So beside that, so I want to talk about the lights when we have a player coming, let's say for a road game, or we players still at home.
30 seconds.
So the light is in poor condition right now. So it's only one light at the beginning of the entrance. But if you walk back to the field, if you continue walking after, so if you don't have your lights card, you will see nothing. It's nothing barely if you don't have your cars light on. So that's the situation we have. So thank you.
Next is Michael Kinney, who will be followed by Robert Smith.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm probably the only person here not here to talk about baseball fields. I live in East Cobb, and I have 2 children at Eastside Elementary. And we've heard lots of rumors about the academic calendar for the next year. Nothing's been announced. I assume it's still under discussion, advisement. So we just wanted to let our opinion be known. In our neighborhood, we've heard lots of rumors pushing it back to July 15th. And our experience going into July this year has been less than ideal. Certainly Cobb County is not set up for this. We've had 40 kids on a school bus packed 3 to a seat in July with no air conditioning. Clearly that's not a good way to, you don't want your children getting off the bus drenched. So we're very much moving further back into July. I know you have the 180 days to get in, but we're also talking about canceling summer camps. People want to go to NASA or do this or do that. Those push into July. So students will be unable to do those, along with other things, right? Summer is a time for learning as well, just maybe not in the school itself, but family reunions, exploring. That kind of learning sort of gets swept away by moving back further into summer. And I think that's important. I think all of you, like all of us out here, have great memories of our summers as kids. That's something we really don't want to take away from our children in our community in East Cobb. So we're very much against moving the calendar back, and I know you have challenges with that, but I just want to let our opinion be known that we're vehemently against that, and I wanted to represent our community here and sort of let you know that we don't want that to happen. Thank you. But we would sort of like a decision soon. Hopefully you can reach one, because some people are considering moving into other school districts if it continues to push back. And certainly we need lead time to figure out housing in other schools. So if you could come to that conclusion, hopefully soon, that would, I think, be beneficial to everyone, certainly in East Cobb. So thank you very much.
Next is Robert Smith, who will be followed by our final speaker, Raul Cumbest.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to speak for the South Cobb baseball program. My son, he'll be an incoming freshman, and we started out coming to the fields for practice, and I noticed that the trash cans would be sitting there, and for about 2 weeks, the trash would be just sitting in the dumpsters. And I'm wondering, like, why is nobody picking the trash up? So I spoke with the coach, and he said that they had dumpsters that was set aside that you would take the trash out and put it in the dumpsters, but no one would pick the trash up. So the trash is just sitting there. And then when teams come to the fields, they like, you can just overhear everybody talking, saying that, how the facilities are really bad. I hope they don't send us back to South Cobb and, things like that. And, if we're trying to get the kids to help out with trying to get scholarships and stuff like that, none of the scouts or, coaches will want to come to the facilities because, everyone talks about the facilities around the communities. And we've been playing baseball for about the last 7 or 8 years. And in Cobb County, this might be the only school that don't even, the baseball field is actually down the block. And that's like scary because if the kids want to go to practice baseball,
30
they
seconds.
can't do that because the field is down the street, but the gates are locked. So the rest of the schools you go to, you can just walk to their facilities and go work out. And South Cobb, you can't do that because they have the gates locked. And, we don't have nowhere for the kids to go. So, we would love for, we can get some help with that because they definitely need it. Thank you.
Our final speaker, Mr. Chairman, is Raul Combest.
Good evening. I just want to say my name is Raul Combest, and I'm a 20-year property owner out of Cobb County. My son recently graduated last year from South Cobb High School, played on the baseball team, and so I've had a chance to kind of see the deterioration of the school facilities. And because of Coach DeRue and his leadership, I decided to volunteer. I'm basically a community coach right now for the school. And what I want to talk about is just a couple of things. Number one, the batting cages. We have one major cage, another cage that is actually falling down. We have pictures to illustrate that. On the main batting cage, the netting is detached from the top portion of the batting cage. Also, the netting is beginning to dry rot. So a lot of times when you're hitting the ball, sometimes it actually go through the net. The next thing I want to talk about is the dugouts. As you can see from the several pictures there are some load-bearing poles for the roof, and those are becoming loosened. The roof itself is actually leaking on the visitors' dugout, and also the padding. That's where the kids kind of lean across the top there. The padding is actually gone and needs to be replaced. And one other thing is there is as you know, with most of the baseball fields, you have the big net around the back, and you have two big poles. And one of those poles you can see on the picture is actually cracked where that is meeting the concrete.
30
Actually,
seconds.
Surrounding areas there. And then last but not least, just the lighting, the general lighting. As you go to the field in night games, the lights project onto the field. But from the batting cage around to the stands and so forth, there isn't lighting there. And right next to there is a bunch of bushes. And I actually have stepped on a snake. Luckily, it was a little garden snake, but very, kind of uncomfortable. I just want to thank you so much for your time and for hearing us. And again, the safety of our kids and our communities is of the utmost. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, I'm glad it was a small snake. It's still a snake. That's right. And if you don't like snakes, it doesn't matter how big it is, does it? Okay. Thank you to our public speakers. Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Next, we have items requiring action following executive session. Mr. Ragsdale.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, members of the board, I'm going to ask John Adams to bring all those items after executive session requiring action.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Mr. Chair, members of the board, it's my pleasure to bring you the Human Resources Personnel Report for today, September 14th, 2017. We do have one principal level hire position. The administration recommends the approval of identified employment actions of those individuals listed on the Personnel Action Report as discussed in executive session. We recommend that Lori Horn be appointed to Director of Assessment and Personalized Learning in the Academic Division to be effective September 15th, 2017. This concludes the Personnel Report.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Mr. Scamahorn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I make a motion that we approve as read.
Thank you, Mr. Scamahorn. Mr. Sweeney is a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any discussion? I apologize. I got ahead of myself. What's that? Okay. Now, okie dokie. All right, we've got that. Okay. Now we're ready to hear board business. Mr. Sweeney, do you have a report of the Facilities and Technology Committee?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Due to, we'll call it the weather events of this week, the September 11th, 2017 Facilities and Technology Committee meeting was canceled due to the district being closed Monday, September 11th and Tuesday, September 12th due to inclement weather from Hurricane Irma. Go away, Irma. All right, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Okay, next, we have the action agenda items. Mr. Ragsdale. Oh, consent. All right, there we go. All right. Let's see, the consent agenda items from the work session are items 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7. All right, without objection? Okay, so that means that our discussion items are item number 4 and item number 5.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, members of the board, I'm going to ask John Adams to come and bring both discussion agenda item number 4 and 5.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Agenda item number 4, recommendation for approval to award a contract for demolition at Walton High School. In accordance with SPLOST 4, Walton is scheduled to receive a replacement school according to the attached facility summary. In that we've completed the stage 1 portion of the project, it's now time for demolition of the existing main school building. In order to proceed further with the project, essentially we will be demolishing the old classroom building, if you will, and then proceeding with, after that, with construction of the athletic and performing arts space. We're recommending that you award the bid to Triad Construction out of Atlanta, Georgia. Recommended award amount of $3.584 million, and you see the exact figure there. And allowing us to proceed with this would mean that we could begin demolition in October of 17 and conclude in approximately February of 18 as budgeted in SPLOST 4. And I'm available for any questions.
Mr. Sweeney.
First of all, I make a recommendation that we accept the superintendent's recommendation, agenda item number 4, the recommendation for approval to award contract for demolition at Walton High School.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Do we have a second? Mr. Banks, a second. All right, now, is there any discussion? Any questions? Okay, seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor, raise your hand. All right, and that's 6-0. Thank you. And item number 5.
Yes, sir. Agenda item 5, recommendation for approval to award a contract for stadium improvements at Osborne High School. Again, in accordance with SPLOST 4, Osborne High School is scheduled to receive new stadium improvements according to the attached facility summary as highlighted. A little more specifically, the improvements would include a new football field house, a new press box, new concession stand, new ticket booth, improved restrooms, and some ADA upgrades in general. Awarding of the contract at this time will allow us to remain on schedule with a scheduled substantial completion date of February 18, beginning in October of 17. Recommending that you award the contract to Lichty Commercial Construction out of Atlanta, Georgia. Recommended award amount you see there, $2.4 million, the exact amount listed above, as budgeted in SPLOST 4. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Ms. Thayer.
I very happily move that we accept this recommendation.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Thayer. Mr. Scamahorn? Mr. Scamahorn seconds. Now for any discussion, any questions, any comments. Mr. Scamahorn.
Just a comment. We're moving and grooving with Osborne. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All righty. Time for the vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. And that's 6-0. Thank you very much. Are we there? Okay. It is time for board member comments. And let's start with Mr. Scamahorn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a couple of things tonight, and one is since because of the inclement weather, if you've not put the families and victims of September the 11th in your thoughts and prayers, and I'm sure they'll never be forgotten. And there was, I had the pleasure to accompany my wife to her classroom reunion. I won't say what year, but we passed a cemetery up in southern Indiana that had They look like 3,000 or so flags, miniature flags, posted out into a field. Looked very beautiful and very somber. The other thing I would like to bring up is we lost, we're unfortunately staying right on our average. We lost 10 very good members of our communities, again, since last we met. And please bear with me. Sergeant Steve Perez, Houston Police Department, into watch, Sunday, August 27th, 2017. Deputy Sheriff Robert French, Sacramento County Sheriff's Department, California, into watch, Wednesday, August the 30th, 2017. Police Officer Bernie Domagala, into watch, Tuesday, September the 5th, 2017. Deputy Constable Mike Diebold, Tarrant County Constable's Office, Precinct 5, Texas, into watch, Thursday, September the 7th, 2017. Police Officer William Matthews, Wazata Police Department, Minnesota, end of watch, Friday, September the 8th, 2017. Sergeant Joseph Osman, Florida Department of Corrections, Florida, end of watch, Sunday, September the 10th, 2017. Deputy Sheriff Julie Bridges, Hardy County Sheriff's Office, Florida, end of watch, Sunday, September the 10th, 2017. Agent Roberto Marina Antai, Puerto Rico Police Department, Puerto Rico, end of watch, Monday, September 11th, 2017. I mention these folks when we meet because their families and friends need our thoughts and prayers, but also because these fine heroes need to be remembered. And if we can do our little part by mentioning them as we meet and reflect on not only those that have fallen, but those that protect us and go in harm's way so that we can live our lives safer than we ever thought we could. I yield back, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scammahorn. Ms. Thayer.
Thank you. I'd like to thank our superintendent and all of our central staff who made that call to close our schools safely and make sure that our kids are taken care of first, and then did all the hard things to make sure that our schools could safely open on Wednesday. I know it's hard to go around and check everything in freezers and all the details and toilets and everything else that has to be checked to make sure that we can safely start our schools back up. So thanks for doing a great job on that. We really appreciate that. Also wanted to congratulate Campbell High School for being Fox 5 Team of the Week. So that's a great thing for them. They had a pep rally, I believe, this morning, and there'll be excerpts from their game on is it Saturday morning show? Is that when it is? Anyway, so we congratulate them. The other thing I wanted to say was Mary Mullins from King Springs Elementary was named the elementary art teacher of the year. We've always been proud of Mary Mullins in my community and other great things that she does. But then to see that Cobb County had the state art teachers nominated elementary, middle, and high school. I'm not sure that any school system has ever had all three levels named for one school system. So I think that says a great deal about how our school system values the arts, not just academics, but the arts also. So I thought that was a really nice thing to happen for our school system. So thank you also to the fine arts staffs in our schools. You do a fine job for us. We appreciate all that. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thayer. Mr. Banks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to start with Leicester High School. Leicester this year had 3 perfect score ACT students. which is, I think, a first as far as the number. Also, they had 13 finalists for the National Merit Scholarship Program. And also this Friday is homecoming. They'll be playing Marietta High School, and there'll be a parade before the football game tomorrow night. I also want to mention Pope High School. The last Friday at the football game was a fundraiser for the Hobby Foundation, and they collected over $28,000 for research on cancer. So there was a great turnout, and this is a significant amount of money for this charity. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to give a shout out and thanks for tonight's dinner and to recognize the McEachern High School students Farrah Wilson, Cardell Billingsley, and Emma McMahon. They did an outstanding job with tonight's meal. And their teacher, Katie Daniel, got some tricks up her sleeve. Some of the potions or whatever you want to say, and the food was outstanding. It was a great meal, and in 5 years, I don't think I've ever heard as many positive comments from board members all over. It was great. And thank you to those McEachern students and staff.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I also want to echo Ms. Thayer's comments relative to the job the district did with the storm weather this week. I think y'all did a fantastic job. Thank you for that. And without stealing any of your thunder, I was going to talk about the ACT scores. It's a remarkable testament to the teachers, the students, and the family support that each of our schools has, and the great success that we had on the ACT scores. And further on the academic trail, Cobb County School District was recognized with 70 national merit semifinalists. And I want to congratulate Walton, that has 30 of those national merit semifinalists, and also Wheeler High School, that has 7 of those national merit semifinalists. Congratulations to those schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Mr. Ragsdale, how's your week been?
It's been a week. Let me first start off and say I appreciate the comments about school closure this week. It's always a challenge to close school. I will say, though, that we truly dodged a bullet in Cobb. My colleagues over in DeKalb, Atlanta Public, and Fulton were not so fortunate, in Decatur City, as a matter of fact, and Gwinnett. Gwinnett is well renowned for never closing school, and they were closed a day longer than we were. So obviously our thoughts and prayers go out to all those families affected, but specifically the school districts affected, because we know what a tough job it is. We want to thank, obviously, our maintenance department as we, as we are sitting there trying to close school. John and I are always thinking about, the guys that are going to come in and the job that they've got to do to assess damage and then light fires under various organizations to help us get back to where we need to be. And I do want to give a shout out to Georgia Power for we only had 2 schools without power, and they got those schools back up by Tuesday night, which they said they would do, and they did come through on that. So greatly appreciative for the team effort outside of our team, but still in Cobb. Along those same lines, last week I think it was last week, it seems like about a month ago, but last week at our L&L meeting, I asked for our schools to take donations for the Hurricane Harvey victims out in Texas. And then, of course, we had Hurricane Irma hit, and we were scheduled to have those donations in and picked up yesterday. It goes to say that we did not get that accomplished. But while we didn't make a quick jump to get donations, we were trying to assess exactly what was needed. And so we could make the biggest impact of what help we were able to provide. So we will be reassessing that and seeing if we need to send some to Texas and some to Florida, obviously, because we've got a lot of people that have been impacted by the weather over the past few weeks. And along those same lines, obviously we recognize tonight, but Public Safety Awareness Week is October 2nd through the 8th. And I can't say enough for our guys. I know Bradford's still in here. And I think Cordone. Yep, I thought that was you back there. So I can't say enough about how much I appreciate you guys, what you do, but the high level of professionalism that you guys bring to the district. I believe I'm correct in saying that we have the largest school district post-certified police force probably in Georgia. I'm just going to go out on a limb and toss that out there. Get challenged if somebody wants to, but and I'd put them up against anybody. They do an awesome job in our schools. We really don't know all the jobs that entails, and what I say, and I say it regularly at L&L, until part of our attire to go to work is a bulletproof vest, we really don't know what it is to put yourself out there. So I appreciate you guys. Cordone, I don't know if he's still on, but he was on our night shift. Okay, so we take seriously keeping our facilities and our staff and employees safe through all hours, because we know we have a lot of people that work in our facilities late. So appreciate what you guys do after everybody else has gone home. You did take some of my thunder, and I'm going to have to phone a friend on part of this because I didn't write it down. But we actually had 5 perfect scores on the ACT. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know we had Walton, Lassiter, Kennesaw Mountain, Campbell. Was there a 5th or not? Phoning a friend. Any friends out there? I know. What now? Wheeler. Wheeler. Sorry, Wheeler. Peter Giles. You'll get over it though. That's amazing because at least one. We had 5 schools. I'm sorry, we had 5 schools that had perfect scores. I believe Walton had multiple. And obviously, I'm phoning a friend out here.
Walton had 5, Campbell had 2, the others had 1.
So Walton had 5, Campbell had 2, and then the others had 1. Well, I'm not phoning a friend over there, Mr. Banks. I'm phoning a friend out here. So, I'm just kidding. So, yes, I can be. So my point in saying that is congratulations to all those students, but it truly shows that we run the gamut in our high schools. Every single high school has the capability of producing a perfect score ACT student, and that is awesome. Not to be overshadowing to the rest of the students, but that is certainly an awesome accolade for these students and these high schools because, again, the teachers are knocking it out of the park. That's what is allowing these students to excel in the manner that they are, and I just could not be more proud of these teachers and these students. Lastly, I'll finish up with we've got fall break coming up, September 25th through the 29th. I hope all the students and teachers and then everybody else that will take vacation during that time, hope you have a safe and restful break and come back ready to go. Thanks.
Yes, Mr. Banks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To add on to the superintendent's report on ACT, I think every school percentage-wise increased this year from last year. So that tells that our teachers are doing a fantastic job of teaching, and and we have some pretty smart students. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. Well, I'll just add on to what Mr. Banks said. I like to remind people because people forget or people just aren't, they don't know, but, the SAT, as I understand it, it tests on the ability, reasoning skills of how you might do doing something. But ACT is a test on a student's knowledge. So what it tells us is how well our students are learning and retaining. And the other thing I like to remind people is these are voluntary. This in no way reflects the entire student population because these are the students that have volunteered to take the test. So it's a pretty good sampling. So it's a measure of how well our teachers and the entire team is doing in making the learning experience exceptional in Cobb. So I thank them for that. I echo all the comments, and if there's no objection, I say we're adjourned.